This video aims to go over one or two words that are a bit of revision from Unit 2, but also they have a space in your book itself. So when you have a look in your booklets, you need to be going to page 6 in booklets to do with the student notes on the relationship between nucleic acids and proteins. And so this is what we're doing. We're going to page 6 in your notes, and we're going to see if you and your partner can define the following words in 10 words or less. So that's the challenge, is to be brief. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just sitting here and waiting for you to do that activity, I'm going to encourage you to press pause. And then when you are finished, you can unpause the video and keep going. So hopefully you pressed pause and now you're restarting to go on to our next part here. And we're going to go through these two words. Let's see if you manage to get through that challenge. So here's the challenge here. These are my small definitions. So you can see the first one here is a chromosome. And a chromosome is that condensed DNA that contains many genes. So I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, not even 10. Yeah. So within your nucleus, so here is your cell. Then you can see all these little X's. Remember mitosis and meiosis. You pull one out, that's called a chromosome, and it's a coiled piece of linear DNA. And there has been talk about histones as well. They're not quite on the study design, so we don't need to worry about them at the moment. Now, if you unwind that chromosome, you end up with a bunch of genes. So if I drew that chromosome out schematically like this, a small section of the chromosome, this would be a gene. Okay, so that leads us to the definition of a gene, which is a small section of DNA coding for a trait or a protein. So it's really important that we understand the difference between what a chromosome is and what a gene is, because that's what the wording that we're going to need to use when we move into our definition of protein synthesis. So what I really like here in these pictures is to show you, kind of as you either zoom out or zoom in, what does a chromosome look like? So you've got your chromosome down the bottom here. You zoom in and you can see that it's kind of this bunch of coiled pieces of DNA. They coil around these histones, which are protein molecules. And then all the way when you unwrap it, it starts to look like the double helix. And the reason that it's got all this coiling is so that it fits. Yeah? Otherwise, the chromosomes would be super, super long. We've got 3 billion base pairs to fit in there. So this coiling and wrapping around the histones stops it from getting tangled and enables it to hold lots and lots of information in a really small space. Here's just another picture, if you need to look at it, showing the same process. And that's the end of this video, highlighting the difference between a chromosome and a gene.